President Muhammadu Buhari has been dragged to Supreme Court by the 36 state governors over his presidential executive order number 0010 of 2020 signed in May 2020. The state averred that the executive order Buhari signed had pushed the federal government's responsibility of funding both the capital and recurrent expenditures of the state high court, Sharia court of appeal, and the customary court of appeal to the state governments. They equally argued that except paying the salaries of judicial officers of the above-mentioned courts, Buhari had since 5th May 2009 abandoned his responsibility of funding the capital and recurrent expenditure of the respective courts. Since the 5th of May 2009, the defendant had not funded the capital and recurrent expenditure of the State High Court, Sharia Court of Appeal, and the customary Court of Appeal of the plaintiff's state, apart from paying only the salaries of the judicial officers of the said courts. The plaintiffs' state have been solely responsible for funding the capital and recurrent expenditures of the State High Court, Sharia Court of Appeal, and the customary Court of Appeal of the plaintiffs' states, which the defendant has failed and or refused to fund, they said, according to Punch. One thing about this life, things are always going upside down. There will be law, there will be constitution. If we follow it, I think there will be no problem in this world. There will be no problem anywhere. The reason why we are being governed by laws and constitution is for things not to go the other way around, for things not to go in disarray. That is why the laws are put there. Then if you want to go into the government, if you want to go into an organization, there are rules and regulations that guide people. But the problem is that people go there with the mind of doing their own thing. If it is constitutional to do this, it's constitutional not to do this, then why not? I think that's why we're even having problem with God. We know these are the things we need to do, but we just bluntly and just refuse to do the right thing. And before you know it, we will start having problems. These are the people that sworn oath that they are going to abide by the constitution, they will stand by the constitution. At the end of the day, it is not their money. Their own is to be able to make more money, get revenue, and drive the country and drive the economy. But when they fail to do all of those things, that is when you begin to see that they begin to shift grounds, they begin to shift base, they begin to do things in accordance, not in accordance the way things ought to be. And that's where we are having problem. At the end of the day, it is not their pocket money, it's not their personal money. Things have been stipulated. Of course, we can say that these governors can take them to court, this and that. Then who is going to take the government, the state governors? Who is going to take them to court? Individual civil societies will take them to court. Salaries you don't pay. They are talking about their own responsibility or the responsibility of the federal government. And meanwhile, your own responsibility and what you ought to do, you are not doing it to the people. Even when you come and do and make promises here and there, nothing will still happen. And you will get away with it. Well, I just believe that they are just trying to keep Nigerians busy because they all know what they are doing. Majority of them just go into government just go and get the allocation every month, share it, pay salary. Nothing. It's what anybody can do, but how many of them can really generate revenue? I'm just trying to digress because at the end of the day, there's no way we'll talk about this. At the end of the day, what we talk about all this is so that we'll be able to relate it with the people, because it's all about the people. It's not all about them. That is why you see that we try to make references to some other things. At the end of the day, it will still boil down on the people. It's all about the people. It's all about the people. You are dragging the president, then who is going to drag you? Because even a lot of people will need to drag the president, because as you can see, people are not even sleeping with their two eyes closed in their various houses. People are hungry. People are afraid. Things that they're supposed to do, they are not doing it. See, the economy is in shambles. Things are so expensive. No money. Those who are still working, they have not been paid. Some that are still working, they have slashed their salaries. They are not even being paid, even the slashed salaries. Crime everywhere. Insecurity everywhere. everyone is just floating anywhere belle face. So who is going to drag all these ones to court now? That is the question. Who is going to drag them to court? If everybody will do what they ought to do accordingly, I think we will not be having problem. We will not be having problem at all. And that's why it baffles me. You see lawyer, they argue from different angles on the same issue because there are stipulated laws and rules and regulations that are supposed to be guiding each and every one of us. They have all those terms and conditions, but they still do otherwise. Well, Nigeria is finished. Was Buhari the president of Nigeria 2009? Kindly go through and let us know why you are mentioning Buhari. Okay. If this report is true, it means that this country is finished. Okay. I think this in the report is 2019, not 2009. Yeah. I think there's a kind of mixed up here. It's 2019. Well, if this report is true, it means that this country is a very funny place. I'm highly surprised to hear this news. So the state governors appoint judges for the state judiciary while the federal government is paying their salaries and other allowances as well as funding of capital projects. Why are we saying that state government can fund state police? Are we really sincere in this country? I don't think the news is authentic. It might really be one of those people who are just trying to dent the image of the government. Well, the relevant question is, has the federal government been funding this before now? If yes, why stopping now? Whatever is the answer, Buhari should know he is biting more than he can chew. Building pipelines and rail lines to Niger Republic at a time like this is wrong and provocative. Just like I said, if that is the way it ought to be done, then why are they not doing it? It is not your private money. Because we don't do things we need to do, that is why people just do and act in impunity. They act with impunity. Of course, if it is not the way, if it is not constitutional, they will not drag the president to court. They won't, because of course they know that they will be breaching the law. This right or wrong of whose responsibility it is to foot cost of having state court needed to be adjudicated upon the political or economic nor selfish influence, but in the right frame of how a federation should be. It's time that we all got to understand that our type of federally run nation is very confusing, and strategic issues are always at the mercy of convenience that should have known no space of law. Just passing on. This one say I'm just passing. I don't know when they are true. They should call you. It is their usual way. At the end of the day, nothing will still happen. Buhari is chopping the federal money he could have used to pay them. Those governors are thieves. So Buhari should be funding state high court and federal high court. When it comes to sharing of money, you won't take him to court. And this state court at where the governors, especially Wike, get all their Jankara rulings. Okay. This is great news. Why should the federal government be funding state institutions? So guys, leave your comment below. Let's know what you think about this whole thing.